What is up, J family? Welcome back. I know it has been a really long time since we have been on here. As you can see, David is not with me right now. So I decided I'd get on here and give y'all an update. And the first thing I'm going to start off with is the labor and delivery for baby Elijah. He is already here. The reason we haven't been on here in a while is because my whole pregnancy and the delivery it didn't go as planned. So I know David and I promised a lot of you that we would record the delivery, but I'm about to explain why that didn't happen. So I'm going to start off with arriving at the hospital. It was Thursday night at midnight, but technically Friday morning, November 6th, 2020 at 12 a.m. We arrived at the hospital, went into our room, got prepped and everything, and around 3 a.m. they started inducing me. Now, when they started inducing me, I was at a 3. I was in some pain and I was already having contractions on my own, but I wasn't dilating enough. So they went ahead, they started the induction and the Pitocin and to get things moving. Now I don't know the right word for it, but it's GPB positive. So that means I have to be hooked up to penicillin while I am delivering my baby. And if you've ever had penicillin, you know that it hurts. So I had the medicine going through my IV, and let me see. I was at 3 until 8 a.m. or around 8 a.m. So I was a good 3 centimeters dilated for 5 hours at the hospital. And I was in so much pain. I was shaking and crying. I've gone through the contractions already. They're getting stronger and they're hurting with no pain medicine at all. So at this point, I wanted to start some kind of pain med so I can get some kind of relief. So I said, let's try the Stadol. Now the Stadol made me loopy and dizzy. My vision was blurry. It made me feel better, but it didn't help all the way because I was still in pain, but the pain wasn't as bad. So I was like, okay, this is okay. I have little notes over here to the side if you see me looking over there. So I had to wait a good hour and a half for the epidural. Probably about an hour for the epidural because they started the epidural around 9. But around 9:05, that's when they come in there to break my water. Now, after they broke my water, everything went crazy. Literally everything went crazy. I finally jumped up to a good 4 centimeters. But after this, they couldn't find Elijah on the heartbeat monitor. My vitals started dropping dramatically, and it literally went from one nurse to probably like 5 or 6 nurses in there working on me and trying to find him all at the same time. So at this point, I started freaking out because everybody knows we lost our daughter Kaylee several years back. And in my mind, I'm thinking, here we go again. So I'm freaking out, not knowing what's taking place. And the nurses at the hospital were great. They were great with me. They were great with him. They constantly reassuring me that everything's okay. We're not going to lose him. So I finally calmed down, but my vitals are still dropping. So at this point, they're pushing medicine in me to get my vitals back up, because at this point they're starting to lose me. So they check me at 9:50 in the morning after we get everything calmed down, and I'm finally a 5. So I'm dilating slowly, but not enough to where I'm making that much progress. So around 10 a.m., everything goes crazy again. Elijah disappears. My vitals are dropping. I'm shaking. I'm cold. Everything went haywire again, but this time worse than before. So at this point, my nurse does not leave my side. She stays with me 100% of the time, and they're debating on an emergency C-section because I'm fading. So they finally get me under control for a couple of minutes, and it starts again. Now, after that epidural, the only thing it did was take away a little bit of the pain in my stomach and back, but down below, I felt everything. When I say everything, I mean I'm squeezing the bed, screaming and crying, and all I want to do is just give in because it hurts so bad. I can't even describe the amount of pain I was in. And this went on for 45 minutes because at 10:45, they come in and they checked me, and I was 6 centimeters. Things went 10 times worse. I start dilating every minute or every 2 minutes. I think it was every minute, because as soon as I'd have a contraction, I could feel so much pressure, and it literally felt like a bowling ball was trying to come out of me. So while I'm screaming, the nurse comes in and she's like, the other nurse, not my first nurse, but my other nurse. She comes in and she's like, what's going on? She's like, all I know is she says she's feeling pressure. We need to check her. Keep in mind, I've only had one contraction since me last being checked like a minute ago. So they checked me, I'm a 7. So she's like, dang, that was fast. Here comes another contraction. She's like, you feel that? And I'm screaming. And I said, yes, it hurts. She checks me again. I'm an 8. She's like, have them come in here. Have them come in here. So they call them in there. And at this time, again, I'm having another contraction. And she checks me and I'm a 9. She's like, we're going to give you 3 more contractions. And we're pushing. So it's 10:50, 10:50, and they're suiting up, and she's got me up, and she's got my legs up and the drape up and everything, and she's like, start pushing. And at this point, I am screaming as loud as I can. It hurts so bad. And she's like, I know it hurts, but you have got to push. And I think that's what made things a little bit better, was the fact that my nurses were so understanding and allowed me to scream when I needed to. So after all the screaming and all the pushing, at 10:51 a.m., baby Elijah was born. A beautiful baby boy. They laid him on me as soon as we delivered him. They cleaned him up and everything, and I got to hold him for a couple of minutes. And after a couple minutes, they took him to get cleaned up, and things went bad again. But I will save that part for another video because that's a long story. So if you want to hear what happened after the delivery of baby Elijah and his stats on how much he weighed and his length, please come back for the next video, and I will keep y'all updated. Bye.